Near Mumbai, in the city of Vasai, there is a beach called Bagai. On July 26, 2021, many people were enjoying their time at this beach. However, a black suitcase, floating with the sea waves, arrived at the shore. As soon as the suitcase reached the shore, some people's attention was drawn to it. Seeing the suitcase, many thoughts crossed their minds, and one person from the crowd called the police. Shortly afterward, the police arrived at Bagai Beach. When the police saw the suitcase, they too became suspicious. Upon opening it, their suspicions were confirmed as inside the suitcase was a body. What was strange about the body was that it was headless, meaning it was a decapitated corpse. However, the body was fully clothed. The police then thoroughly checked the suitcase and searched the surrounding area within a 1 to 2 kilometer radius, suspecting that the head might be discarded nearby and might be found. Despite extensive searching, the head was not found. The body was then sent to the hospital for a post-mortem, and the police re-examined the suitcase in hopes of finding a clue, but to no avail. The police awaited the post-mortem report, hoping it would provide some clue about the identity of the deceased, as it was clear the body belonged to a woman. A few days later, the post-mortem report arrived, but it did not reveal much apart from the fact that the woman had henna on her hands. Based on this henna, the police deduced that the body might belong to a Muslim woman, considering the style of the henna and the type of clothing she wore. Apart from this, the police had no further information. The police then released some photos of the deceased's body in nearby areas to gather any clues or if someone would come forward searching for the woman. The Vasai police also informed all police stations in Mumbai to report if there were any missing person reports for women. Despite these efforts, the police could not find any information about the body or any leads. After about 6 months, in early 2022, the police still had no clues. Fortunately, the police had preserved the DNA sample, photos, and some clothes of the body. The body was buried in a cemetery in Mumbai according to Muslim customs. Time passed, and after about 14 months, on August 29th, a man walked into a Mumbai police station. He reported that his niece had been missing for nearly 14 months, and they had no idea where she had gone. He filed a missing person report for his niece, named Saniya, and mentioned that he was Saniya's uncle and had come from Belgaum, Karnataka. The police asked why he was reporting the missing person case after such a long time and what he had been doing in the meantime. He explained that Saniya was an orphan, and he had raised her. He was financially stable and had arranged Saniya's marriage in 2017 to Asif Sheikh, who was working in Saudi Arabia at the time. He shared that Saniya and Asif's marriage was arranged, but with their consent, and they were very happy with it. In 2019, Saniya gave birth to a daughter named Amara. Despite being a happy family, they faced a new joy when Saniya's uncle, Javed, spoke with the police. He explained that they had regular phone conversations with Saniya, but suddenly she stopped answering their calls, and her phone was eventually switched off. They tried contacting her on July 8, 2021, when Saniya's grandmother passed away, but she did not answer. Afterward, her phone was always off. Javed informed the police that there had been no quarrels with Saniya. He also mentioned that they never had direct contact with Asif, and when Saniya stopped answering, they tried calling Asif, but he claimed they had dialed the wrong number. The police then asked Javed for Saniya's in-laws' address. Javed mentioned that Saniya's in-laws lived in Rashmi Regency apartments in Achol, Malasapara. Since they were a joint family, everyone lived together. When Javed and his relatives went to Asif's house in Nalasapara, they found no one there. They learned from the neighbors that Asif's family had sold the house and moved elsewhere. Javed was distressed because he couldn't find his daughter, and now her in-laws had also moved without any trace. With no leads, Javed was desperate. He was old-fashioned and kept numbers in a small diary rather than on his phone. While checking his phone book, he found Saniya's mother-in-law's mobile number. He called that number, and Saniya's mother-in-law answered. Saniya's mother-in-law mentioned that they had sold their house and had moved somewhere else. She also mentioned the location, saying it was a small town in the Mumra police station district where they now lived. She provided a landmark near their new home, a large marriage hall. As soon as Javed Sheikh learned Saniya's in-laws' address, he immediately went to Mumra with his acquaintances. They inquired around the marriage hall and eventually reached Saniya's in-laws' home. They were warmly welcomed there. At the house, Saniya's mother-in-law, father-in-law, her brother-in-law Yasin, and her husband Asif were present, along with their daughter Amira. However, Saniya was nowhere to be seen. Javed Sheikh asked Asif where Saniya was and requested him to call her. Asif then told him a strange story. He explained that in July 2021, one morning, he had received a letter from Saniya. The letter stated that she had fallen in love with someone else and could no longer stay with him. She was leaving to be with her lover. In other words, Saniya had left her home to elope with her lover, and upon reading this, Asif's entire family was saddened, believing Saniya had an extramarital affair and ran away with that person, neglecting her husband and daughter. Asif said he had kept the letter safely and showed it to Saniya's uncle Javed. Javed told the police that he had also read the letter. After hearing all the information from Saniya's in-laws, Javed and other relatives returned to Mumbai where they were staying. Javed was very upset by Saniya's actions but couldn't believe it, as he had raised Saniya since childhood and knew she was not capable of such actions. If she were to leave, she would never break ties with him. Javed Sheikh spent 2 to 3 days contemplating this because his heart refused to accept it. Then, on August 29, 2022, he went to the Mumra police station. The police informed him that his daughter had disappeared from the Nala Sapara Achol police station area and advised him to go there. They said that even if they filed a complaint there, the case would still need to be transferred to the Nala Sapara station. On the same day, Javed Sheikh arrived at the Nala Sapara Achol police station, where a missing persons report for Saniya Sheikh was filed, and an investigation was immediately launched. Javed Sheikh couldn't believe that Saniya could run away with someone. He suspected something had happened to her. After filing the report, Javed Sheikh went back home. The police, believing Javed Sheikh's account, sent out notices to all police stations in Mumbai about unsolved cases from July 2021 or later where unidentified bodies had been found. On July 26, 2021, the case of a decapitated body found in Vasai came up. Coincidentally, the deceased was a woman, and her physique matched Saniya's. The next day, the Achol police called Javed Sheikh to the station and showed him photos of the body and the mehndi designs, among other things. Javed Sheikh immediately identified the body from the clothes, saying it resembled his daughter Saniya because she wore similar clothes. Whenever Saniya called to show her daughter Amira via video call, Javed Sheikh had seen her in such clothes. The Achol police also called Saniya's in-laws to the station and showed them the photos, but they denied recognizing the body. They insisted that Saniya had run away with someone, supported by the letter Asif had received. The Achol police then took the letter from Asif and sent it to experts for analysis. Although Saniya's in-laws were now a bit anxious, they were sent home after being shown the photos of the body. Further questioning of Javed Sheikh revealed that there had been some initial disputes over dowry during the early years of marriage, but things had improved over time. However, there was some discord between Saniya and her in-laws concerning their daughter Amira. Saniya had never openly discussed this with her uncle Javed Sheikh, so he didn't know much about it. The body found in Vasai could not be considered Saniya's based on mere statements. It had to be proven in court with solid evidence. The police then collected blood samples from Asif Sheikh and his 3-year-old daughter Amira, as well as samples from the body, which had already been preserved at the Kalina lab. They matched the DNA of all 3. First, Asif Sheikh's DNA matched with his daughter's, then the DNA of the decapitated body matched with Amira's. This confirmed that the body was indeed Saniya's. Consequently, the police arrested Asif Sheikh on September 15, 2022. During interrogation, Asif initially tried to mislead the police, but eventually broke down and confessed to killing his wife Saniya Sheikh. He admitted he had written the letter himself, as the handwriting was his, not Saniya's. According to some reports, Asif said he committed the murder because he suspected his wife was having an affair. However, another report suggested that Asif himself was having an affair with another woman, which Saniya had discovered. Asif wanted to marry this other woman, and, after removing Saniya from the picture, could marry her. Asif also claimed that his family was not involved in the murder. It was entirely his plan. The investigation also revealed that Asif had been previously married, but had divorced his first wife due to her affair with someone else. The question arose as to why Asif couldn't divorce Saniya if he had divorced his first wife. This question also troubled the police. During questioning of Asif's family, Another story emerged. Asif's father Hanif and brother Yasin admitted to their involvement in the murder under police pressure, but Asif insisted he was solely responsible. The truth was that in July 2021, when Asif's family was at their Nala Sapora house, it was Eid al-Adha. In the morning, Saniya got up, bathed, got ready, and went to the kitchen to cook. Guests were expected that evening, but the unusual part was that only Saniya, her husband, father-in-law, and brother-in-law were at home. The rest of the family had gone to Mumra, and Saniya's daughter was also sent there.